All right, today I want to talk to you about how I flipped a commercial building for $65,000. So when we talk about wholesaling, a lot of people just think residential, they just think houses. And I hope to expand your horizon a little bit to think about wholesaling commercial deals just like houses. So quick story here. I had a real estate agent who I did a lot of deals with. I bought a lot of properties from this real estate agent. And he came to me and he said, Jerry, I've got a commercial deal, not sure if you're interested. And it was kind of odd because he typically did houses, but it was an REO building. It was a 7,200 square foot building built in 1997, all brick. I mean, beautiful building. At one point it had a loan for $1.4 million and it ended up going to foreclosure and the bank took it back and it was an REO. And so he said to me, Jerry, I can get this for $285,000. Now, he asked me if I was interested. Now, I had this relationship with him. He's calling me about a listing before he's listed it, and this is the power of having relationships with REO agents and listing agents. And I said, well, you know, I'm not really a commercial guy. Let me check it out. So I looked at this building and I thought, how can I go wrong with $285,000? So what I did is I locked it up for $285,000 with an earnest money deposit of $10,000. I told the agent, give me a few days, I'll get that over to you, stalling a little bit. And here's what I did. Directly behind this commercial building was a similar building, same brick, same roof shingle, probably built by the same developer at the same time, very similar building right behind it. So what I did is I went over to that building structure, pulled in the parking lot, and there were some units in the building, some retail spaces. So I picked one of them, I walked in, it was a psychiatrist's office. I went up to the receptionist and I said, hey, I just bought the building behind here and I'd like to talk to the owner of this building. Do you know who he is? Now I figured it was a property owner that they were paying rent to. And the receptionist, she said, well, it's actually the doctor here, the psychiatrist here at this office who owns this building. And there were some other things in the building as well. There was a daycare and some other things. So I said, great, I'd like to talk to him. So she gave me his number, I called him up, his name was John. I met him back there later that day. He invited me into his office and he had the big leather couch. He said, sit down on the couch. And I started to get nervous here, like, uh-oh. And I didn't lay down, no, if you're wondering, did I lay down? No, I sat down on the couch and he said to me, how much do you want for the building? And I said, well, how much do you want to pay for it? Right? Here we go, negotiating. He who names the price first loses, right? That's what I've always been taught. So I said, how much do you want to pay? He said, how much do you want to sell it for? We went back and forth like this for a little while. Finally, I said, $400,000. Now remember, I have it under contract for $285,000. So I throw out $400,000. He says to me, fires right back and he says, I won't pay a penny over $325,000. Now remember, I have it for $285,000. So here's what I did. I stood up, I stuck out my hand and I said, nice to meet you, I'll see you later. And he said, and I quote, whoa, 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 sit down, tough guy. All right, so I sat back down, we ended up talking back and forth, we settled at $350,000. Now, what I said to him is I said, look, I've got this under contract, we have a closing in 30 days, I need a $10,000 earnest money deposit, we're gonna sign this form here, and then we're gonna go to closing. At closing, you're gonna pay $285,000, and you're gonna pay another $65,000 to me, and you're gonna pay me a $10,000 earnest money deposit right now so that I know you're serious, and that's how this deal's gonna go down. I was very firm with him, and yet I laid out the terms. This was a good deal. I mean, for $350,000, smoking deal. And by the way, he had a lot of motivation. His daycare that his wife ran in his building needed to expand. So he really wanted that building. In fact, he tried to buy that building all along while it was in foreclosure, and he just never put the deal together, and I come along and get the deal. So he really wanted it. I could see that motivation, so I knew I could hold firm, and I did. So we went to closing. By the way, he paid me a $10,000 earnest money deposit, and what do you think I did? I turned around and used his $10,000 to pay my $10,000 earnest money deposit. So really I hadn't paid anything because I used his to fund mine, right? Because I had to pay a $10,000 earnest money deposit. I told the agent, give me a couple days and I'll get that to you. So I really at this point have zero into this deal, go to closing, walk out with a $65,000 check. Really the process was no different than houses. Some people might say that's luck, you just happen to do that. But the thing is a lot of people aren't willing to just walk into a building and say, I want to talk to the owner here. And that's the kind of tenacity it takes to be able to do deals like this, any kind of deal. But I want you to kind of open your mind to think about commercial wholesaling, just like you do residential wholesaling. The great thing is, with commercial, the checks are a lot bigger, and that's what's exciting about commercial. So I just wanted to share that story with you. I hope you found that motivating. I hope you can go out and do a deal just like this one, and I'll see you next time.